Good afternoon, Year 2. Today we are going to be making mayflowers. Okay, so for our creation of our mayflower, we are going to need A3 paper, paints, paintbrush, an apron, water, either from the tap or from a container like so, a palette for our paints, and glue. Okay, so we're going to need all of these items in order to make our mayflower. So for the first step of our mayflower, we are going to put some of our brown paint onto our palette. Like so. And I've given you each a piece of A3 paper, which has already outlined your pot that you'll be using for our creation. So we're not going to cut this out, we're just going to paint within the lines of our pot. So you can use whatever colour you like for this activity. I'm using brown just because when I get to my mayflower I am going to make it nice and vibrant and colourful. I'm going to give it lots of different patterns. Now if you want to make it a little bit lighter in colour, you can just add a little bit of water to your creation. Okay, so once we've painted the first part, what we're going to do is we're going to leave it out to dry for a couple hours, and then we're going to come back to it this afternoon. But for our second step, I have already completed the drying process, and we are going to begin on our flowers. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to create the stem and the base for the flowers. So I've got some green paint here, which I'm going to use for the stem, and I'm going to use the whole bottom side of my hand. Just smush that around in the paint, get it all through the fingers, all through the palm, and once you're nice and covered, I get that a bit more of my thumb, just like so. We're going to plant that down onto the top part of our pot. So planting it nice and firmly. You can roll your hand over just a little bit, keeping in place. Make sure that your fingers are slightly apart, because these are going to create the base for your petals. Okay, so using our thumbs, we're going to make the center of the flower, and then we're going to use the thumbs again to make the petals. Alright, so for our petals, I've chosen a couple different colors. I've got red, orange, purple, and yellow. So I've got some warm colors there and some cool colors. And I've got water, because we're going to, when we do the petals, you might want to change up the color to have different patterns. So I'm going to use that water to clean off my thumb to create the different colors. So I think for the base of the petal, I'm going to use orange. So I'm going to stick that at the top of each of my fingers, like so. A little bit more orange, and that is our base for the flowers. Now I'm going to do a couple different colors for the flower petals. So I might start with a purple. So I'm just going to go around the flower, like so. And then I'm going to use a yellow to complement the purple. I'm going to go around it again. Petal there, petal there. Alright, so moving on to the next one. So I think I might use a blue and a red. Spacing them out, because I'm going to use the red to go around the second time. Okay, so after we've finished doing all of our flowers, I've given you all a little piece of paper like this, which just has a poem on it to go with our Mayflower. So it's got, I have made some Mayflowers with my finger and thumb. So you'll have these memories for the years to come. Now you're going to glue that down onto the center of your pot, and that will result in your art looking just like this. So that's all done. Thank you for joining my lesson.